15 types of canned foods that can keep you alive when disaster strikes. It sounds extreme until it actually happens. When the system stops, when supermarket shelves are empty, when you cannot buy anything else, what you already have will determine how long you last. And when that happens, you will not have a second chance to prepare. But here is the real problem. It is not that you have food. It is whether you can actually use it. Some foods give you energy, some keep your body functioning, some help you keep eating, and some keep you from collapsing after many days. Item number 7 is something most people overlook, not because it is rare or expensive, but because it is so ordinary that you do not think it matters. But when things start to drag on, when your body is tired and you no longer feel like eating, it becomes the one thing that helps you keep going. And when you realize that, you no longer have a chance to fix it. 15. Canned sardines. Something small that can keep you alive the longest, the most overlooked item in the supermarket. Might be the one that keeps you alive the longest when everything stops working. Canned sardines are not something everyone likes. They are small, have a strong smell, and often sit quietly in a corner of the shelf where few people pay attention. But that is exactly why many people underestimate their true value. In normal conditions, you choose food based on taste. In a small can, you get over 200 calories, enough protein to prevent muscle loss, healthy fats to keep the brain functioning steadily, along with vitamin D to support immunity. This is not perfect nutrition. It is effective nutrition, enough to keep you from collapsing in times of shortage. But the most important point lies in what most people throw away. The bones. The soft bones in canned sardines contain a very high amount of calcium, and when there is no milk or fresh food, that becomes one of the few remaining sources. If you discard that part, you are losing a large portion of the nutritional value needed to maintain bone strength and recovery. What truly makes canned sardines stand out is not just nutrition, but usability in any situation. You do not need to cook, do not need water, do not need electricity. You just open the can and eat. In a situation where most food becomes useless due to lack of conditions, sardines still work. That is the difference. Canned sardines can be stored for 3 to 5 years if kept in a cool, dry place without special conditions. The cost is also very low, just a few dollars per can, meaning you can stock up in large quantities without affecting your finances. But the real value is not in the price or the taste. It is in reliability. In a prolonged situation, you do not need delicious food. You need something that is always ready. And canned sardines are one of the very few foods you can rely on when everything else stops working. 14. Canned soup. A source of water that keeps you from collapsing. Canned soup is not food meant to fill you up. Its real value lies elsewhere, keeping your body from breaking down when it starts to weaken. Soup provides 3 important things: water, sodium, and a small amount of calories. Water helps sustain life, sodium maintains electrolyte balance, and calories help the body continue functioning at a minimal level. Some types also include protein and fats, supporting recovery when the body is weak. In survival, this is extremely important. Humans can go without food for many days, but dehydration will weaken you very quickly. At that point, soup is no longer just food, but a source of water with nutrition. It helps prevent dizziness, reduces the risk of cramps, and keeps your mind clear enough to make decisions. You can consume it directly. No cooking, no electricity needed. When possible, heating it is better, but in an emergency, you just open the can and use it immediately. This is one of the few foods that does not depend on any system. Canned soup can be stored for 2 to 5 years if kept in a cool, dry place away from high temperatures. Do not use cans that are swollen, rusted, or heavily dented, as those are signs the contents are no longer safe. A common mistake is buying condensed soup but not preparing enough water to dilute it, making it almost useless when truly needed. Are you preparing the same way? In terms of cost, canned soup is one of the cheapest foods to stock up on. In the United States, a can typically ranges from $1 to $3 depending on brand and ingredients. At that price, you can store dozens of cans without spending too much, while having a source of water with nutrition when needed. It is also a high trade value item because when the body is weak or cannot handle dry food, almost everyone needs something easy to consume like soup. Without soup, the biggest risk is dehydration and faster exhaustion, even if you still have other food. At that point, the body does not collapse from hunger, but from losing the ability to function. Soup does not make you stronger, but it keeps you from collapsing too soon. What do you think matters more, energy or the ability to keep going? 13. Canned beans, the foundation that helps you survive longer in a can of beans. You get protein to prevent muscle loss, carbohydrates to provide energy, and fiber to keep your digestive system stable. This is not a perfect meal, but it is a nutritional system that is enough to keep you from collapsing. It does not make you stronger immediately, but it keeps you from weakening too quickly. And in survival, the danger is not instant depletion, but gradual decline, until you no longer have the strength to continue. But here is what almost no one realizes. The liquid in canned beans is not waste. It contains soluble starch, minerals, and part of the energy from the beans themselves. When you pour it out, you are not just losing water, but also losing an important portion of nutrition. In a resource-limited environment, nothing is unnecessary. Canned beans do not need cooking, do not need electricity, do not need water. Just open and use. They do not give you explosive energy, but they give you stability. And that is what helps you last longer. They can be stored for 3 to 5 years, are easy to stock, and can be used for trade when needed. A can of beans in the United States usually costs around $1 to $2, meaning with $20 to $30. You can store enough beans to maintain basic energy for many days. This is a very low cost compared to the value it provides in a crisis. But the biggest mistake lies in the initial choice. Many people choose dry beans just because they are cheaper, often around $1 to $2 for a large bag. It sounds economical, but dry beans require water, cooking time, and energy to prepare. When you lack all three, they are almost unusable. Are you choosing something cheaper, but unusable? 12. Canned chili. A complete meal in one can, if there is one thing closest to a complete meal in canned food. It is chili. A small can can provide around 500 to 600 calories, enough protein, enough carbohydrates, and fat. That means you do not need anything else and can still maintain energy. In normal conditions, you may not find it special. But when things start to become scarce, a complete meal in one can become a huge advantage. Simplicity always wins. You do not have time to prepare multiple dishes, do not have enough resources to cook, and certainly do not have the chance to eat for taste. You need something that gives you energy quickly, sufficiently, and steadily. Chili does that. It not only provides calories, but also helps the body maintain strength for a longer time compared to foods that only contain sugar or simple carbohydrates. But here is what many people do not realize. The seasoning in chili is not just for flavor. In a crisis, when you have to eat the same type of food for many days, loss of appetite becomes a real problem. You may have enough food, but not want to eat. And when you do not eat, you weaken. Seasoning stimulates your taste, keeps you eating, and that is what helps you maintain energy. Canned chili is also very practical. You can eat it directly, no electricity, no water, no preparation needed. It can be stored for 2 to 5 years, is not expensive, and easy to stock. In addition, it is a food with good trade value because it is filling, and everyone understands its value. A common mistake is treating chili as a side dish, or ignoring it because it seems unnecessary. But in reality, without a complete energy source like this, you would have to eat multiple other foods to compensate, costing more time, more effort, and increasing the risk of nutritional imbalance. Chili is not for eating for taste. It is for making sure you eat enough. And in a crisis, eating enough is how you avoid collapsing. If you could only keep 3 items, what would you choose? 11. Canned condensed milk. What keeps your body from collapsing from within? You can go without meat for many days and still survive. But if your body lacks calcium, your bones begin to weaken, mobility decreases, and even a small fall can become a serious problem. In survival, you do not need to be the strongest, but you cannot afford to collapse from a small mistake. Once you lose the ability to move, you almost lose the ability to protect yourself. The issue is not whether you have enough energy, but whether your body is still functioning normally. And this is what many people overlook. Canned condensed milk is not a main meal, but it is a stable source of high calories, calcium, and vitamin D that you can store long term. It does not make you stronger immediately, but it keeps your body from breaking down over time. Imagine this. You no longer have fresh milk, no perishable food, no variety of options. You dilute a little condensed milk and drink it in small sips, not because it tastes good, but because you know your body needs it. On days when you are tired, lose your appetite, or no longer feel like eating, those small things are what keep you going. And there is something even more important. In prolonged crises, people do not just collapse from lack of energy. They collapse from losing morale. A bit of sweetness, something familiar, something you can use every day, can create the feeling that everything is still okay. And that feeling keeps you standing longer than you think. Condensed milk can be stored for a long time, does not require refrigeration, is easy to stock, and does not depend on any system. But because it is so simple, it is often overlooked. The biggest mistake is not that you do not have it, but that you do not recognize its value until your body starts to weaken. You can lack many things for a few days, but if your body's foundation starts to collapse, you will not have a chance to fix it. In a crisis, what keeps you standing is not just energy, but whether your body is still functioning normally. 10. Canned tomatoes. What keeps you from skipping meals? Do you know why many people still have food, but end up not eating? It is not because they are not hungry, but because they no longer want to eat. It sounds unreasonable, but in a prolonged situation, when you have to eat the same thing over and over, not only does your body get tired, your mind starts to resist. You look at the food, but no longer feel any appetite. And when you do not eat, your body weakens faster than you think. The problem is not a lack of food, but the loss of the ability to eat. And that is when canned tomatoes become extremely important, even though they are almost never considered a main food. Tomatoes do not have many calories, do not keep you full for long, but they have something most survival foods lack: the ability to make food edible. With just a little tomato, you can make beans easier to eat, soften the taste of canned meat, or create the feeling of a normal meal. And in a situation where you have to eat repeatedly every day, that small difference is what keeps you going. But here is the important part. Tomatoes have mild acidity, which helps stimulate appetite and support digestion. When the body is tired, the digestive system weakens, eating becomes more difficult, and at that moment, a bit of sourness, a bit of familiar flavor can bring you back to eating. You open a can of beans, you look at it, you know you need to eat, but you do not want to. Then you add a little tomato, not to make it much tastier, but just enough to make you able to eat. And sometimes, being able to eat is what keeps you alive. Canned tomatoes can be stored for a long time, are cheap, easy to stock, but because they are not a main food, many people ignore them. The common trap is not that you do not have tomatoes, but that you do not understand their real role. In a crisis, you do not just need enough food, you need the ability to keep eating. And sometimes, what keeps you alive is not what gives you the most energy, but what keeps you from skipping meals. Are you sure you will not make these mistakes when you truly need it? 9. Canned fruit, something small that keeps you from giving up. Not everyone who collapses in a crisis does so because of lack of food. Some people still have food, still have enough calories, but they stop. Not because their body cannot handle it, but because they no longer want to continue. When everything around becomes repetitive, when every day feels the same, when you have to eat bland food over and over, the mind becomes exhausted before the body. And when you lose motivation, you start eating less, then skipping meals without realizing it. That is when canned fruit starts to have value. A can of fruit is not a primary energy source, usually providing only around 100 to 200 calories. But it contains natural sugars that provide quick energy when the body is tired, while also triggering a sense of comfort through the brain's response. It does not make you stronger immediately, but it keeps you from falling into the state of wanting to give up. After many days of eating beans, canned meat, or repetitive foods, both digestion and appetite decline. A bit of sweetness, a bit of acidity from fruit can stimulate the taste and help the body accept food more easily. The liquid in the can is not just fluid, but also a quick energy source when you do not want to eat or do not have the strength to eat much. Canned fruit can be stored for 1 to 3 years, does not require refrigeration, and can be used immediately without preparation. It is cheap, easy to stock, and in many cases has trade value because it provides what everyone lacks: a sense of normalcy. Many people fail at this step, treating it as a side item. But in a crisis, you do not just need enough energy. You need enough reason to keep going. 8. Canned tuna, the fastest protein. When you need it immediately, canned tuna is one of the very few foods you can open and eat right away while still providing a high amount of protein. Each can usually contains around 20 to 25 grams of protein, enough to maintain muscle and keep your strength when you have to stay active continuously. In survival, you do not need to build muscle, but you cannot afford to lose it, because when your body weakens, you lose the ability to move and react. The most important point of tuna is not its nutrition, but the speed of use. You do not need to cook, do not need water, do not need preparation. In a situation where you are tired, hungry, and out of time, being able to eat immediately is a bigger advantage than any food that is better but requires preparation. You just open the can, eat a few bites, and continue. Tuna is not a high-energy source like fatty foods, but it helps the body maintain stable strength. This is especially important when you have to stay active for long periods, because losing protein means your body gradually weakens without you noticing right away. However, there is one point to note. Tuna, especially from larger fish, can accumulate mercury if used long-term. Therefore, choosing light tuna from smaller fish is safer for storage and extended use. This is a small detail, but very important if you depend on it for a long time. Canned tuna can be stored for 3 to 5 years, is easy to stock, reasonably priced, and suitable in many situations. But its real value is not in how nutritious it is. It lies in the fact that you can use it immediately when needed. In a crisis, you do not have time to prepare. You only have what you can eat right away. Have you ever thought about this before? Or is this the first time? 7. Canned salmon. The brain is what keeps you alive. Survival is not about who is stronger. It is about who makes the right decisions when things start to go wrong. You can have strength, have food, but if your thinking declines, your reactions slow down, or you make a wrong decision, everything can end very quickly. And that is when canned salmon becomes different. Salmon is not the cheapest food, but it is one of the highest sources of omega-3 in canned foods. This is the type of fat your brain needs to maintain focus, reaction, and information processing. When the body is tired, sleep-deprived, and lacking nutrition, the brain is the first to decline. And when the brain no longer functions well, every other advantage becomes almost meaningless. The importance of salmon is not that it makes you stronger, but that it keeps you from getting worse. It keeps you alert enough to observe, clear enough to think, and stable enough to avoid making bad decisions under pressure. In survival, one correct decision can help you live many more days, but one wrong decision can cost you everything. Canned salmon is also very practical. You do not need to cook, do not need preparation. You can eat it immediately and still receive high nutritional value. Besides omega-3, it also provides protein and some vitamin D, supporting the body in conditions with limited sunlight and fresh food. However, the price of salmon is usually higher than tuna or sardines, so not everyone prioritizes storing it in large quantities. But this is not a food to eat frequently in large amounts. It is something you use at important moments, when you need to keep your mind as sharp as possible. Canned salmon can be stored for many years, is easy to stock, and does not depend on usage conditions. But its real value is not just in nutrition. It lies in keeping your ability to think. In a crisis, your body helps you survive, but your decisions are what keep you alive longer. 6. Canned chicken. Protein without noise. Canned chicken solves a problem many people overlook: smell. When you cook, you create scents that travel far, and in a dangerous situation, that can become a signal that attracts others. That is why having a food source that does not require cooking and does not create smell becomes a safety advantage, not just convenience. In terms of nutrition, canned chicken provides a stable amount of protein, usually around 20 to 25 grams per can, enough to maintain muscle and strength over time. In survival, you do not need to build muscle, but you need to preserve it, because losing muscle means losing the ability to move and react. The biggest strength of canned chicken lies in its immediate usability. No water, no electricity, no preparation needed. You can eat it directly in any situation. This is especially important when you are tired, short on time, or need to stay discreet. In addition, canned chicken has a mild taste, making it easier to eat than many other meats, so it causes less fatigue when used repeatedly. It can also be combined flexibly with other foods like beans, rice, or canned vegetables, to create a more complete meal without complex preparation. In terms of storage, canned chicken can last from 3 to 5 years, does not require special conditions, and is easy to stock in large quantities. The cost is usually higher than some other foods, but in return, you get stability and flexibility in many situations. A common mistake is focusing only on eating enough while ignoring safety factors. But in a crisis, how you eat matters just as much as what you eat. Canned chicken is not just a source of protein. It is a way to maintain strength without revealing your position. And in some situations, survival is not about being stronger, but about being more discreet. Which item in this list would you choose to keep yourself alive the longest? 5. Canned vegetables. Micronutrients matter. Canned vegetables do not provide many calories, but they solve a bigger problem: micronutrient deficiency. You can consume enough energy every day and still weaken if your body lacks vitamins and minerals, especially over a long period. The main role of canned vegetables is to keep the immune system functioning. When lacking vitamins like C or essential minerals, the body becomes more vulnerable to illness, recovers more slowly, and loses strength faster. This is a form of decline that happens quietly, hard to notice but very dangerous. Vegetables also help maintain digestive stability through fiber. When you consume a lot of dry or protein-heavy foods like canned meat and beans, without fiber, the body will develop digestive issues, directly affecting nutrient absorption and energy levels. The key point is that canned vegetables are not meant to fill you up, but to keep your body functioning normally. They act like a biological insurance, not immediately noticeable, but when missing, the consequences become clear. In practical terms, canned vegetables can be used immediately, require no cooking, no special storage conditions, and can last from 2 to 5 years. They are cheap, easy to stock, but often overlooked because they do not feel urgent. A major mistake is focusing only on calories and protein while ignoring micronutrients. In a crisis, energy helps you survive, but micronutrients keep you from breaking down over time. 4. Canned pumpkin. What keeps your digestive system from breaking down, do you know? You can still have enough food, but your body cannot use it? In a crisis, many people focus on storing energy. Canned meat, beans, high-protein foods. It sounds reasonable, but they overlook something more important: the digestive system. When the digestive system does not function properly, the body cannot absorb nutrients, leading to fatigue, energy loss, and weakness, even when you still have food. And this is when canned pumpkin becomes important. It does not provide many calories, but it is rich in fiber and very easy to digest, helping the digestive system stay stable when you have to consume a lot of dry or protein-heavy foods over time. If digestion has problems, all the food you eat becomes less effective. But here is what many people do not realize. When you are constipated, your body is not just uncomfortable, it also loses energy, reduces focus, and makes every activity feel heavier. It does not take you down immediately, but it weakens you day by day until you no longer have the strength to continue. Pumpkin has a soft texture, easy to eat, and does not put pressure on the stomach, especially suitable when you are tired or do not feel like chewing. You can eat it directly or mix it with other foods to make meals more tolerable, helping you maintain regular eating. You eat enough, but your body becomes more tired. Your stomach feels uncomfortable. Digestion slows down. You do not understand why you are weakening until you realize your body can no longer process what you eat. And at that point, something as simple as pumpkin becomes what helps you return to a normal state. Canned pumpkin can be stored for 2 to 5 years, requires no special conditions, is cheap and easy to stock. But because it does not feel urgent, it is often overlooked. The problem many people face is not lack of energy, but forgetting the digestive system. In a crisis, you do not just need to eat. You need your body to use what you eat. And sometimes, what keeps you alive is not energy, but the fact that your digestive system is still functioning normally. If this happened today, how long would you last? 3. Canned stew. What keeps you feeling human in a crisis? You need to eat to survive. But when things drag on, you need something else. The feeling that you are still okay. Canned stew is not the strongest in terms of nutrition, but it is one of the few things that resembles a real meal. In one can, you have meat, vegetables, sauce, a familiar structure that both your body and mind recognize. Not separate components, but a complete meal. This matters more than you think. When you have to eat repetitive food for many days, you start to get tired of it. You eat because you have to, not because you want to. And when you do not want to eat, you eat less. Your body weakens, and your morale drops. The problem is not just lack of energy, it is the loss of a sense of normalcy. A can of stew may not change your situation, but it can bring you back to something familiar. You no longer feel like you are enduring. You feel like you are having a meal. That difference is small, but enough to keep your mindset stable and help you continue. Stew can be stored for 2 to 5 years, does not require electricity, and can be eaten directly or heated. The price is higher than basic foods, but in return, it provides significant psychological value, and in many cases, can also be used for trade. What causes many people to pay the price is focusing only on nutrition while ignoring feeling. In a crisis, you do not just need to survive. You need to maintain the mindset to keep going. And sometimes, what keeps you standing is not what is strongest in energy, but what makes you feel like yourself. 2. Spam. Emergency fuel. Spam is not a healthy food. That is true. But in survival, the standards change. When things start to become scarce, you no longer choose what is best. You choose what keeps you standing. Spam is one of the highest calorie sources in canned food. It provides a large amount of fat and protein, helping the body maintain energy quickly and avoid exhaustion. In conditions where you have to move, work hard, or lack sufficient food, even a small portion of Spam can help you sustain strength longer. Calories are not just numbers. They are whether you can still function or not. Imagine this. You are tired. Your limbs feel heavy. Your mind slows down. You know you need energy, but nothing works fast enough. You do not have time to cook. You have no options. And at that moment, a piece of Spam can be the only thing that gives you enough strength to keep going. It is not a perfect meal, but it is fuel. And in a crisis, fuel matters more than perfection. Spam can be eaten directly, requires no electricity, no water, no preparation. It can be stored for years, easy to stock, and always ready when you need energy immediately. This is the kind of food you do not think about every day, but it is what you need most when your body starts running out. This is where many people make the biggest mistake, judging Spam by normal standards. In everyday life, you may avoid it, but in survival, without a high-calorie source like this, you will weaken faster than you think, especially when your body has to stay active. Spam is not good for you in the long term, but when you have no energy left, it is what keeps you on your feet one more time. Are you preparing the right way, or just thinking you are right? 1. Corned beef hash. What keeps you from stopping the combination of carbs from potatoes and fat from meat creates a stable energy source, not a rapid spike and crash like sugar. It does not give you a burst, but it keeps you going for hours without dropping midway. This is not energy to start. This is energy to keep you going when your body begins to decline. The danger is not running out of energy instantly, but losing it gradually without noticing. By the time you realize you are weakening, it is often too late to recover quickly. A food that maintains stable energy helps you avoid that state. Corned beef hash can be eaten directly, requires no electricity, no preparation, and can be stored for a long time. It keeps you full longer, reduces the need to eat constantly, saves time, and preserves your strength for more important tasks. A common mistake is choosing only fast-calorie foods. Those may give immediate energy, but they also cause a quick drop, forcing you to eat repeatedly and increasing the risk of exhaustion. Corned beef hash does not make you stronger instantly, but when you are not allowed to stop, it is what keeps you going. You do not die from lack of food, you die from collapsing first. In a crisis, everything does not fall apart at once. It breaks down gradually. The body weakens, the mind declines. You eat less, think slower, and at some point, you no longer have the strength to continue. It is not the one who has the most who survives, but the one who lasts the longest. Everything you prepare is not just food, it is a function. Some give you energy, some keep your body working, some help you keep eating, and some keep you from giving up. Missing one, you can still survive. Missing many, you start to collapse. And when you collapse, everything you prepared before no longer matters. In the next video, you will see small items easy to overlook, but that can become real currency when a crisis happens.